Hello and welcome to the iGaming Next Power Hour, where for the next 19 minutes and 56 seconds we are going to be doing a deep dive all about managed services and examining what it means to have a managed success within iGaming. So success in online sportsbook or iCasino is very much dependent on the right choice of managed services. Modern post-COVID businesses are improving efficiencies, reducing costs and fostering flexibility and agility, but above all, increasing customer value. So, what does the next generation of managed services look like? Let's find out with two gentlemen with a long heritage from the iGaming space who are bringing their expertise to the next generation of managed services. My name's Oisín Lunny. I'm a journalist, podcast host for Fortune 500 companies and an event MC. I will see you at iGaming Next in Valletta later on in the year. But now please welcome to the virtual Power Hour stage, Paul Myatt, who is the Chief Business Development Officer at Aspire Global. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Oisín. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, mate. And Antoine Bonello, who's the Chief Operating Officer and Managing Director at Aspire Global. Welcome, Antoine.
Hi, Oisín. Thanks for having us.
Great to have you both here. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, time is marching on. My goodness me, we're at 18 minutes, 37 seconds. So I think it would be really useful for our iGaming Power Hour delegates. It's all about powering up their business knowledge, their expertise, their opportunities, and you know, you've both worked at some of the giants of the industry, both in the B2B and the B2C space. You know, folks like NetEnt, Betfair, Mr. Green, William Hill, Paddy Power. So, Paul, talk to us a bit about how this kind of blended heritage of B2B and B2C services actually informs what you do at Aspire, because I think it's super interesting to understand that special sauce that Aspire offers with the managed services.
Okay, thanks, Oisín. I've been in iGaming for 10 years, and all of that time has been on the B2B side. So I was at NetEnt from 2010 for 5 years, and then Quickspin for 5 years from 2015. So my whole experience is on the B2B side, and Aspire Global is absolutely a B2B supplier. So we have our sights and ambitions on being the biggest and the best in this space, and we have a full range of products that we can bring to iGaming operators for them to be successful. Everything from platform to games aggregation to sports, and what is essentially our bread and butter is our managed services, and that's something we'd like to talk to you about today.
Fantastic. And talk to us a bit about the actual kind of managed services you offer to the iGaming sector. What are the kind of bread and butter, the operational side of things that some of the folks watching might like to know about?
Sure. I mean, yeah, important to just define what we're talking about when it comes to managed services. So, I mean, essentially what we're talking about here is the operational services towards players. So, essential services that any successful iGaming operator needs to provide. We're essentially talking about customer support, CRM, fraud and risk management, payments, compliance, AML, KYC. I mean, all these super important functions that any iGaming operator needs to provide towards their players. And essentially what we're saying at Aspire is, through our history and our heritage, I mean, we've been we've been in this business for 15 years, and we've been a B2C operator. That's our DNA. We have the experience and the knowledge to supply these complete managed services to operators. They can take it as a whole or as a modular approach, and we believe we can help reduce some of the burden and the cost and the expense of bringing these managed services towards an operator's players.
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. And coming over to yourself, Antoine, you've got a phenomenal background in B2B iGaming companies, you know, some of the biggest names I mentioned in the intro there. Talk to us a bit about how this informs what Aspire does now and where is it going? Because it's kind of an interesting mix of that B2C perspective with your B2C offering right now, or vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, if I may correct you there, all my experiences in B2C.
Right, did I say B2B? I'm so sorry.
But that's exactly. So I've always worked for operators, and I did what operators do. Try and optimize the spend of when you're acquiring customers, and then managing customers through the different life stages, and trying to get customer loyalty, because that increases customer value. And I've done that at Betfair, done that at Mr. Green, and then in the latter part of my time at Mr. Green, we were bought by William Hill. And it's always a bit of a stumbling block when an operator goes multi-brand, or is operating over different platforms, or is getting the PAM from one supplier, and then you get different architecture. Your stack becomes complicated and it becomes disjointed. And at the end of the day, you end up having customers calling your help desk about a promotion that's gone wrong, and your customer service agent trying to figure out what exactly has gone wrong and which system do they need to get into and how do they troubleshoot that to at the end of the day resolve the customer query. And these are issues that operators face. And what we do at Aspire is try to have a holistic view. We sit on top of all the technology in the value chain that we need to give the customer experience that we want to achieve. We believe that we are sitting on what can provide one of the best propositions to the industry. We do it for our own brands, and we want to do it for others. We do it for others in anger. We have a number of customers who decide to focus on their brand positioning, to focus on their marketing, to focus on getting traffic, and they leave it up to us to monetize on that. And that's what we do, and that's what we want to do more of, but more as a B2B.
Yeah.
So we like to refer to this as B2B2C. Which in other words is also managed services.
Very smart. I like that aspect of joining the dots, and of course you know how to do it very well because of that B2C background. Not B2B, as I said earlier, but it's like you can join the dots because you've gone through those kind of painful lessons yourselves as a B2C provider. So you're kind of taking away the pain, making life easier for the operators that you work with, and offering that end-to-end B2B2C service. I think that's fantastic. So talk to us a bit about what this means in terms of driving the proposition, building scale, driving customer value, etc. What does that look like for some of your customers in practical terms?
Yeah, I mean, when the mention of managed services brings to mind almost what I spoke about earlier right away: customer services, player management, fraud, risk, payments, and sometimes we overlook the customer, the direct value generating side, which is CRM. Yeah. And this is where I believe we are taking Aspire's proposition to where no one has kind of taken it before, because on top of the traditional services, we're building this data enabled layer powered by a customer data platform that allows us to not only run a multi-brand proposition, but within that have a more localized, more personalized experience for the different customers. So via this technology, at the end of the day, we can provide an experience that is adapted to the different customer segment, down to the micro segment level. We can do real-time marketing at different touch points, and we can handhold the partners, customers, all along the way to ensure that we maximize that lifetime value and we guarantee an ROI on their acquisition spend.
Fantastic. I mean, that's the thing, because you're providing this complete end-to-end service. It's got micro segmentation. It's data driven. You can really offer things that are not possible with a collection of disconnected managed services from different providers, or even, in many cases, a mixture of in-house and external. Because you're doing the whole thing, you have that single view of the customer, and you have that joined up technology stack that really adds value. That's fantastic. Now, Paul, coming over to yourself, there's a bit of a truism in the world of technology that some new technology is a problem in search of a solution. You often hear that, but you're actually solving real world pain points for your customers and the operators. Talk to us a bit about the kind of pain points that your solution, your managed services, actually gets rid of for your customers.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think in terms of what operators are thinking about, what's keeping them awake at night. I mean, certainly when it comes to the players, I mean, players are more demanding than ever before. I mean, there's more choice in the market than ever before. Players need to be responded to quickly. They need their queries answering quickly. They need the best offers and promotions. They're very demanding when it comes to cash outs, etc., etc. So, I mean, the operators that are not providing top-notch operational services towards their players are essentially the operators that are going to lose out. So, I mean, it's just the player demand and providing a top-notch service towards players. I mean, clearly that's always in the mind of operators, and of course, very much now, as every operator will know, we live in a world of compliance. It's absolutely vital that operators are engaging with players in a fully compliant way. At best, if this is not happening in a compliant way, we've all seen the fines that have been been happening in recent years. At worst, you can lose your license. I mean, and then you don't have a business. So, having compliant engagement with players, is absolutely paramount. And again, what Antoine and I said earlier, this goes back to our kind of heritage and our experience and our professionalism, because B2C is at the core of Aspire. It's in our DNA, and we've been doing this for a very long time. So we feel that we can help release that burden and provide a very experienced professional managed service to our operators, so they can remove some of these headaches that they're facing.
Indeed. Yeah, I completely agree with your point on compliance there. It can be absolutely fatal to a business in a sector not to have the best possible compliance. So I like your focus on that. Antoine, coming over to yourself, now talk to us a bit about some of the results, like some of the numbers. How many countries are you in? How many customers do you have roughly? And, what are you seeing as the impact in terms of increasing player value from your managed services in this space? Yeah, I mean, we currently run 90 plus brands, which is, I mean, to me, it's impressive in itself, because that creates more complexity. It needs to be done with an element of rigor. It needs to be done by having the right people, the right training, the right skills, and more importantly, the right tools. We're talking here brands that we operate with in regulated markets, hence why the need and the demand for top-notch compliance. And we do that very well. We've been doing that very well. The results are showing. We've just announced our Q2 results that are an all-time high in revenue, number of customers, deposits. So that's a good sign. We must be doing something well. And the way we see it is that we are also building to scale further. I mean, what I spoke about earlier, just getting the organization to think in a data-led way, where whether we're doing compliance, CRM, player management, we're doing it with the technology that allows us to have that single customer view. So whether we want to interact in real time with a customer for a promotion or for an offer, or whether we want to do that to do an RG interaction, we can build that, and we have the flexibility to adapt that by market, by brand, and this is where we're striking the right balance in winning that customer's trust, making sure that we are fully compliant to RG and AML regulations, and at the end of the day, managing to sustainably grow customer value in a responsible way. I mean, I've worked in the UK market for quite some time, and also in most of the regulated markets, and I can see that this formula that we're working on at Aspire we're reaping the results. We can see, I can see customer value
and lifetime value, that relative to other companies that I worked for is very, very good. And this is a testament to everything that we've spoken about today. It all comes together at the end of the day in performance, and customer value is the KPI, the outcome that one would be looking for when doing managed services. So I think we're on something good here.
Good. Very happy to hear that. Excellent news. Win, win, win. I mean, some people say that data is the new oil. Other people say that trust is the new oil. And I think you're proving that both things can be true at the same time. Now, Paul, coming over to yourself, I mean, obviously there's a lot of technology there, a lot of, stuff under that managed services hood. If you had to pick one thing that our esteemed Power Hour delegates for iGaming Next should know about, like one piece of kit or one service element that you offer, what would it be? Where would you direct people to have a look?
Yeah, I mean, first, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's to offer great operational services. It's a mix, really. I mean, it's a mix of highly trained teams, and it's a mix of cutting edge technology and tools. And ultimately, Aspire Global, we are a technology company. So I mean, we've been investing in what we believe are the best tools to support with our operational services towards operators. But if you ask me to pick out one in particular, again, it's what Antoine alluded to earlier. It's our CRM tool, which we've branded Aspire Engage. We've invested a lot of money in this tool. It's the tool that our CRM teams would use as part of the operational service towards, as a managed service towards our operators. And I think it's one of those things that you really need to see it with your own eyes to fully appreciate the benefits that it can bring to an operation. And essentially, it's the key benefit of Aspire Engage, our new CRM tool, is the real-time communication of offers and promotions towards players. Based on a real-time player behavior that we see. So I mean, while the player is in a session, I mean, it could be anything like maybe it's a string of losses, or maybe it's a string of wins, or maybe it's hitting scatters on a slot, or a big win, or something like that. Whatever the trigger is, we can send out a promotional message or an offer or a communication to the player while they're in the session. So I mean, it's incredibly powerful. You really need to see it with your own eyes. We're happy for anyone to contact us, and we can arrange the presentation and demonstration. But like Antoine says, it's really starting to pay dividends now, and the results are showing in the LTV that we're seeing from players. So extremely powerful CRM tool with Aspire Engage.
Fantastic. So there you have it. Aspire Engage is what you need to check out. Do reach out to Paul or Antoine or even myself or any of the iGaming crew on LinkedIn, through the chat window, on any of the socials, using the regular hashtags to find out more. And I hope you do get a chance to check out Aspire Engage and reach out to the guys and see what they can do for you. Thank you so much for joining us. We are running down to our final seconds of our 20 minutes of this fantastic Power Hour. I do hope I'm going to see some of you out at iGaming Next in Valletta. That's going to be so much fun. In the meantime, I just wanted to say thank you to our managed services VIPs for joining us. Thank you to Paul Myatt, Chief Business Development Officer at Aspire Global.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Oisin.
And thank you so much to Antoine Bonello, Chief Operating Officer and Managing Director at Aspire Global.
It's been great chat, great session. Thank you, Oisin.
See you all next time. Enjoy the rest of the Power Hour.
All the best.
Bye, everyone.